Hello, we are Dewey Partners, and today we'll be explaining how we are going to branch out to other customers through LinkedIn to increase leadership and improve leadership roles and communication skills within other companies.
The nature of our selling function is business-to-business consulting and coaching services. We sell our leadership development and career coaching, and as well as our job performance trading that goes directly to organizations. The scope of our selling function includes prospecting for clients through LinkedIn, building our relationships through LinkedIn, and conducting discovery calls that also helps us find employees and partners long term.
So we think this business is very feasible because LinkedIn is very cheap. It's a very cheap alternative. And we think that since we have 30 consultants already and specialized employees, we think it would be very easy to branch out to new businesses because we're in a metropolitan area, meaning we're in a city. So it's going to be very easy to branch out to these local small businesses that really need the leadership and need this leadership improvement. And we could also branch out through Zoom and also help increase further across the country through LinkedIn and Zoom by increasing their leadership skills online.
Our target market includes people that need stronger leadership and better employee performance. We identify our market as HR managers, talent development directors, and small to mid-sized business owners that also are looking for people who can better lead their companies. And then these individuals are also responsible for making decisions within these companies and trying to lead their companies into prosperity.
So our goals each month, we're going to try and increase our calls. So we're going to do warm and cold calls, meaning that sometimes we're going to like people's posts on LinkedIn, and we're going to send them messages maybe directly through email once we see their email on LinkedIn, which is a cold call. And our goal is kind of trying to increase those and increase our engagement and our reaction and how we react to what we receive back and how much engagement we receive through LinkedIn. And we also want to increase how well we are perceived.
So our marketing plan has 5 steps. We're optimizing all of our employees' profiles in order to get the most, for them to get the most viewership and able to get the most customers to buy into this company. We're trying to identify target connections with other companies in order to build connections that can strengthen our connections for the future. We're like he said, we're implementing warm and cold call strategies where we basically try to find employees through calling them and try to gauge their interest in our company. And then we're also trying to figure out how we can better understand the needs that people want with our company and how we can mesh with their needs.
And for our branding, we want our brand to look very official. We want to be very well known and renowned throughout the business community. So we're going to have all of our employees wearing official gear. We don't want any messiness. We want everything to be uniform and mainly the same. So we're going to have employees usually wearing all the same uniforms. We're going to have all the same headphones. We're going to make an online site, which might cost some money, but still, this is a very cheap business idea. And we can make a lot of profit through this. So the online startup and paying our employees are really the only aspects of what we're putting in to get what we want to get out.
And then, of course, our employees will also try to fill out their LinkedIn with their job title, their industry, their location, and all that. So we can try to get people who live in these areas and who do these things to join our company rather than others who are competing for their work. And then our employee will each send 5 to 10 target connections each day on LinkedIn to find people who are interested in working for us.
And also, since we live in a city, we're going to try and narrow it down locally, mainly since we're a very not as well-established business currently, as we have some local connections, but we don't have as many national connections. So we're going to start branching out by looking through LinkedIn. We're going to start looking for the industry that they're in, their location, and whether or not they need leadership. So we're really going to try and narrow in on how desperate or how needy they are for leadership, because we don't want to target those big brands that already have those leadership roles. We want those building up small local businesses that are in need of leadership.
And of course, by doing this, by trying to find these people, we're going to have our employees post videos and leadership tips to help gauge the interest in the people who want to learn about this more through our company. And then also, we want to be known as experts in this industry. We don't want to be known as just people who are doing it. We want to be known as the top company that you want to go to every time you try to find something in terms of leadership for your employees and for your leaders in your company.
So the ways we're going to increase our credibility, like I said, we're going to try and start a branch out locally, and then we're going to gain reputation by having them be a voice for us and kind of be a voice for us and kind of just like be credible to us. So we're going to gain credibility through businesses like agreeing with us and like saying that we're doing a good job. And eventually we're going to gain enough credibility to the point that we can eventually scale out to bigger companies and gain more clients. We can be very scalable. And because we're scalable, we're going to start at the local level and then build our way up to the national, to those bigger companies that still need that leadership role. But we're just going to start locally first in our metropolitan area and then branch out.
We can use advertisements, we can use word of mouth, we can do all of that in order to try and get the people who are near us, because they have the most interest. They're the ones that are they're the ones that are probably going to join the company the most. They have the most interest in our company. They're the ones that want to learn about it the most. And eventually, when we gain the trust of these people who are living near our company, we're going to be able to branch out using these people that have worked for us for 5-10 years, and we're going to be able to use them in order to gain relationships with the big guys, the big fish in the pond, and try to see who can help us gain that goal.
Yeah, that edge. And while we're gaining that edge, we're also going to look at how well our cold calls, our warm calls, and engagement is. Like, how are people responding to us, really? Like, if we're sending out 1,000 emails, how are people, like, is one person responding to this email? Because something's got to change. We have to adapt. Like, we have to ensure that we are being as efficient as possible. So we're going to look at our metrics. We're going to see how our engagement is between messages, cold calls, warm calls, and how our brand is perceived. So we're just going to try and branch out there. So we're just going to try and use our metrics to see where we need to improve and where we need to add more to in order to be able to branch out to those bigger companies in order to succeed more.
And we're going to have designated people who will track our acceptance rates, our engagement rates, and so on and so forth, in order to just be able to understand how many people are really taking in our message and to heart, and who are really trying to, better themselves through our company. And those people who really want to help our company, who really want to gain something from our company, will be the ones who help us more in the long run become those big guys that we want to be, that we aspire to become in the future.
And while you may be thinking that we're no different from any other company, we're already established locally, which gives us the edge to other companies who are just starting. So we can use our local foundation really as a boost to those other new leadership programs. So since we already have a foot in the door, we can kind of scale our business quicker than those other companies that are trying to catch up to us, which kind of sets us apart from other companies. Because we're going to go to Zoom, we're going to go online, we are going to make those connections faster than those smaller, more less funded companies, since we will have more funding. And in response to the bigger companies, we will find a target audience through those metrics, through those emails, and how well they respond. We're really just going to try and scale up to be one of those big companies and try and make our way up.
And you might ask, where are we going to get the money for all this? Well, we're going to use social media. We're going to use the people who are with us to fundraise for us in order to gain the trust of these people who are fundraising for us through these means of videos, advertisements in the newspaper, advertisements on the news, like on TV. And eventually we'll become somebody who you can look at and say, oh, they're a good company. They're not trying to finagle us or anything like that. They're looking out for us, looking out for our best interests. And that's really the main goal for every company, but especially us. We want to become somebody who's reliable and trustworthy, and somebody who you don't look at as like a cheat or something like that.
So we definitely believe this plan is feasible, and this plan is very scalable. It's very low cost, low maintenance. You only have 30 workers, and if we expand, we can just add more employees or find or recruit more employees that can teach these leadership roles. And we believe that this business will definitely succeed, and we can definitely grow Dewey Partners into the future, and we can definitely see Dewey Partners being a big company eventually.
Thank you for your time.